Well, this is interesting. I got the Toys R Us weekly ad in here, and there's Barbies and vinyl records. Wouldn't you know it? I want to talk about that, plus opening the mail, and tons more coming up on Friday Night Vinyl. Alright, 33ers, how the heck you doing? This is the place to be on a Friday night. This was interesting. The new Toys R Us flyer, weekly ad, whatever you want to call it. I did a video, a couple months back where I went into Toys R Us, because Toys R Us is still a thing here in Canada, and they are selling records. So I kind of flipped through some of the bins and whatnot. If you missed that video, I will leave a link to it. And it's really it's interesting the way this has happened. There's this billionaire guy in Canada goes up and buys dead or dying brands. So he bought HMV, he bought FYE, he bought the Canadian arm of Toys R Us, he bought the Canadian arm of Bed Bath & Beyond. And he's taken a lot of these stores and put them all under one roof. So if you go to Toys R Us, there's an HMV section, there's a Bed Bath & Beyond section that's called something else now, and there's a Toys R Us section. I have no idea how well it's going to do in terms of movies. In terms of movies and compact discs, they're priced okay, but the records are crazy expensive there. And I kind of think it might even be a lost opportunity. This guy also owns Sunrise Records, which is a chain of record stores across Canada. And you'd think if you lowered the prices, people would buy more records, or if you had sales, like real sales. But that doesn't seem to be happening, so I know a lot of record collectors stay away from Toys R Us, as well as Sunrise Records, just due to the cost. Anyway, check this out. This came, I'll always be a Toys R Us kid. Who would have thought that they would have records in here alongside a bunch of toys? Oh, there's a Pac-Man video arcade. Or Pac-Man board game, I guess. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of cool. There's baby stuff in here. So I'm going to lean in a little bit so you can see. You kind of have to go far back. There's Barbies. You got to keep going. It's not front and center. Well, I guess it's on the cover. I got this girl holding a record. But in terms of the actual part of this flyer, there's video games. Hey, here we go. Right there, it says the HMV shop. We're back, baby. This has a weird heading here. It says, I'll always be a sucker for a sweet needle drop. I never thought I would hear that in a Toys R Us flyer. I'll always be a sucker for a sweet needle drop. That almost sounds, I hate to say it, almost sounds like they're trying too hard to be relevant. I'll always be a sucker for a sweet needle drop. I mean, who talks like that? Does anyone talk like that? The young people talk like that? I don't know. Anyway, this is not a young person. It's like this middle-aged guy in this picture with a record and a Crossley Cruiser. The Crossley Cruiser is now $30 off for 120 bucks Canadian, which is not a huge deal. What do we have here? Taylor Swift. All right, I said they don't go on sale, but you got Taylor Swift records for 15% off. That's something. And some other artists I'm not familiar with. Who's this? Gracie Abrams, Zach Bryan. Yeah, I guess there's some stuff on sale and some t-shirts, AC/DC t-shirts. And what do we have on this side? We got some movies on sale. Twisters, Blu-ray or 4K Beetlejuice, and some compact discs, Eminem, Michael Bublé, Cher, Olivia Rodrigo. So anyway, I thought this was really interesting. As I said, I never thought I'd see the day where you have this kind of stuff at Toys R Us again. And I do wish them all the success in the world, but I think in order to be successful, I think you have to organize their stores better, their HMV stores, and across Toys R Us and Sunrise Records, they're going to have to lower their prices on records a bit or make people feel like they're getting a deal, that kind of thing. And they do. I think they could be pretty successful. Anyway, Toys R Us. It's time to open the mail. All right, I got a couple really cool things in the mail this week to show you. And this first one, I almost wish I had opened on camera because my jaw dropped, man. I was like, what? No freaking way. This first one floored me. As I said, I wish I had the camera rolling. I'm not going to say much about who this came from. I'll say it came from Paul in Canada. And Paul has a connection to a relative of Gene Simmons. And he got it for me. He got this for me through that connection to Gene Simmons. So you're following that? Paul from Canada has a connection to a relative of Gene Simmons. And he got this for me. And I was like, no freaking way. Check this out. It's a picture of Kiss. End of the Road World Tour. Right there. It's hand signed. Right there. Hand signed by Gene Simmons. Here it says For Frank. I don't know if Gene Simmons wrote the For Frank part or someone else did. It's hand signed by Gene Simmons. This is so freaking cool, man. I'm a fanboy when it comes to Kiss, obviously. So I was super happy to get this. This is going to go in a frame. This is Paul. This is going to go in a frame. It's going to go on my wall somewhere. I just can't emphasize how much I appreciate this and how much appreciate the fact that you thought of me to get something like this. That is awesome. Paul also included a couple of pictures that he took when he saw Kiss in 1977. So Paul actually took these pictures. Here's a picture. He must have been pretty close or had a really good lens. So 77. That was the Love Gun tour, I think. So there you see Gene. Classic Gene. He had like the Love Gun stairs there that light up. That was a great stage set. Same stage set you would have seen in Kiss Meets the Fan in the Park. And here's another picture. So in this one, you got the whole stage set. You got the Kiss sign. You got Gene. You got Paul there. Looks like Paul is playing a Gibson Flying V. And you got Peter Criss there. I don't see Ace Frehley. That is awesome. And I love these photos. Great photos you took, Paul. And again, I'm humbled and super grateful that you thought of me. And through your connection to a relative of Gene Simmons, got this picture for me signed. Absolutely love it, man. Thank you, Paul. All right, one more cool thing. I got a compact disc, and this came from Donnie, and actually featured Donnie in a previous episode of Vinyl Dens. And Vinyl Dens is my monthly segment where I showcase cool music rooms across the vinyl community and around the world. I have a episode of Vinyl Dens coming up this Sunday. I know a lot of people look forward to that, so I do try to do one a month. It kind of depends on how many submissions I get, but lately I've been getting more submissions than I'm able to show. So Vinyl Dens this Sunday. If you want to submit your Vinyl Den for a future episode of Vinyl Dens, please do so. There's a description. There's a description on what you have to do below all my videos. Go below the videos, and there's all the stuff you need to know there. Anyway, I lost track of what I was talking about. Donnie sent this to me. This was his band, and the band is called Amphetamine Library. And Donnie played bass and did some vocals as well. And there's a cool story behind this. So this was his college band that formed back in 1984. Him and some musicians were living in the dorm at Virginia Commonwealth University, and their influences were early Pink Floyd, the Velvet Underground, Jimi Hendrix, King Crimson, that kind of stuff. And of course, they got on with their lives. They broke up, and in 2012, the four original members got together in Nashville to finally record those songs they had been working on like 25 years earlier. They rehearsed for only an hour, then they recorded this album in one take with very few overdubs. In an email to me, Donnie said they recorded the songs in order that they wrote them, so you'll notice the songs progressively getting longer and weirder. So yeah, that's my observation as well. The earlier songs on this album lean maybe a little more towards straight ahead rock. As you go along, they get a little more trippy, a little more atmospheric. This is a cool album, man. This is not something you digest in one sitting. There's a lot going on here, so I look forward to listening to it more, but I do dig it. This was released, I guess they finally released this in 2014, so it's been out, I think, if I'm reading this correctly, for a decade. But I'll leave a link to their Bandcamp if you want to hear more of this. Amphetamine library. Donnie, thank you very much for saying this, man. Cool stuff. All right, 33ers, how has your week been? Let me know in the comments. What have you been spinning? I'll be back again on Sunday with an episode of Vinyl Dance. Till then, keep on spinning.